Alright, I guess this is going to be my first video for the YouTube channel I'm going to start, dedicated to farming and kind of what we're doing around here on the homestead. And this is a framed up wood hutch. I'm going to wrap this with some hardware cloth, and this is going to be intended to be a rabbit grow out, but also like a rabbit tractor. So I got a female rabbit that gave birth to 10 kits, and so those kits are going to need a place to kind of grow up while the mother's still like taking care of them. So I figured this would be a good spot to put them once they're big enough. But it's going to have to serve multi-purpose because we got a lot of new baby animals on the farm, and so the immediate use is going to be a chicken tractor for the baby chicks that are just starting to get their final feathers. I'll show you those in a minute. But basically, this is all scrap lumber that we had on the farm. Some of these were pieces of framing from the windows that got put in on the house, and some of it was just leftover lumber that the contractors left behind that I salvaged. So those pieces are these new looking pieces right here that I made a little frame. This is basically going to be a door. I got to put some hinges on here, and the rest is just, like I said, recycled lumber. 2x4s that got split into 3s. That's what those are down there. And I kind of just framed these out, and I'm gonna box it in with some hardware cloth. I'm considering putting a center support right here on the lid. The lid will have hardware cloth as well. Like I said, I'll put some hinges on it, and it'll just be able to lift up like this to access the bunnies or chickens. It's about 5 feet long and a little over 2 feet, about 30 inches high. Let me show you the chickens that I plan to have go in there, because they're right now in this little cage, and this just for them to, you know, get out and get some sun for now. But they're getting so big that it's getting pretty crowded in here. So there's a couple turkeys. This guy right here is a turkey. That guy right there is a turkey. We got 4 turkeys in here, and there's about 10 Rhode Island red hens. I think one of them might be a rooster, at least one of them. And there's 3 chocolate Orpingtons in there. 3 black Australops are in there. And then in this little Rubbermaid tote right here, I got 6 more chickens. I think there's 6. 4 of these are roosters. The 2 with the pink dots on their head, those are roosters for sure. The 2 black ones that are in here, those are the 2 black Australop roosters, I believe. And the other 2 that are in there, I think, are just some buff cochin. They may be roosters, but they might just be some of the smaller birds. They weren't growing as fast and kind of getting picked on, so I put them in here with the babies, the roosters that we got a little, like about a week later after we got these other chicks here. So they're quite a bit smaller. So I just separated them to give them their own space and less competition for food and whatnot. Yeah, I'm gonna probably put some string on here, some handles, so I can move it around the yard, spot to spot. So next step on this is I'm gonna end up painting it, because wood don't last very long out here. And then I gotta wrap it with some hardware cloth, maybe attach some handles or rope. So I'll update you on that when I move on to those steps.
What you doing?
I'll finish up this rabbit tractor.
Really? Can I see it?
Yeah, I got one more side to put hardware cloth on.
Oh, cool. How's it gonna work?
So it's gonna have an open bottom, so the rabbits or chickens that I put in it can still graze. And then I gotta put another piece of hardware cloth on the outside to close it up. And then it's gonna have this top. I'm gonna put some hinges on.
Oh.
On just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hinges on the back, and then it's gonna open up like this.
Cool.
I might put like maybe a little bar or something to prop it up.
Nice.
And then it's light enough that I can put a rope on it or something and just slide it.
Nice.
And we'll move it from spot to spot. We'll always have fresh grass.
Hey.
All right, mobile rabbit tractor's almost done. Got it all wired up. Some hardware cloth. Only thing I need to do is put some hinges on the top. I'm gonna throw a few hinges on this top, and I'm probably gonna put a bar inside to prop this up. So when I do go to get the rabbits or chickens, whatever I have in here, I have a way to prop up the lid. And then I gotta add some latches somewhere on the front. I'm gonna put some latches, maybe one on each side, just to make sure it's secure. It's got an open bottom. I thought about putting wire mesh at the bottom, and I might add that later once I'm ready to add the rabbits in, because my original plan was to have it wire bottom and put some skids on it to slide it around. I might still do that once I'm ready to add the rabbits, but the rabbits were just born a few days ago, so they're not ready to come out yet. And then this is all reclaimed wood. Everything was recycled from stuff that was already here on the homestead, except for the wire. We bought the wire, the hardware cloth, so that we can finish this job. And I made this out of, some of it was 2x4s, and some of it was some other sort of dimensional wood. It was like 5.5 by 8 feet long. And I just split those into like 1 3/4 inch pieces. And so this thing's real light. I'm gonna add some rope, or maybe a bar to pull it. But this thing is like super light, so I could just drag it and then have fresh grass for the chicken or rabbits, whatever I have in there at the moment. So I'll probably make a couple more of these, and then these are gonna go moved around the yard, help freshen up the pastures, add manure to the yard. That's it. I'll touch back when I get this complete with the hinges and latches. But that's pretty much it. All right, so continuation of the rabbit tractor video. It's pretty much complete now. I've gone through the process of painting it. I just used some Kills white paint, and I did quite a few coats of that, maybe like 3 or 4 coats. We put the hardware cloth on the lid, and then I just got done adding a couple hinges. I think these are 3-inch hinges. There's just 2 of them. Got the baby chicks in here right now, using the extra space. It's like so they can have enough room until they're fully feathered, and then I'll introduce them to the rest of the flock, or separate them. And then once I'm ready to put the rabbits in, most likely I'll put some mesh at the bottom. Right now there's no bottom, which is cool for the chickens. They like to graze right here. Like I said in the other part of the video, it's pretty easily movable. It's very light, so I can move this pretty easy. I still haven't put some handles on it, but you can just slide it. So that's gonna work out nice. Hinges, they seem to do the job. They're pretty good. So I'll probably put just a stick in here so I can prop this up when I need to. I thought about mounting one, but you know, I got one laying there, so no big deal. Then we got a visitor. Little red. But yeah, that's the rabbit tractor. Bunnies are still very little, only like maybe a week old at this point. So they're not ready to go in here. But eventually I'll have some rabbits in this thing. I'll be able to graze the yard along with these guys.